tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate board's a different kind of sing. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate board's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa. Get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate board's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate board's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk the beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate born to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run.
Yo, what is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? What is up, Buff fan base? It's Tuesday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that can only mean one thing. You're here with us for the K-Gun Report, Season 5, Episode 8, Draft Reaction. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to spin the Wheel of Destiny. We're going to go over some housekeeping that the Bills did, a couple little moves, and, of course, talk about that draft class. But I got to tell you guys, we got two of the best content creators right here with us on the fan base. We love them. You can catch the show, the Nickel City Crew. We got our boy Rob Crippen, and we got Adam Rupsick, a.k.a. Dump Truck. Best handle in the fam, by the way.
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? Rob, how's it going tonight, bud?
How we doing? Nickel City Crew.
Yeah,
go,
Nickel
Rob.
City Crew in the building. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like a guest that just doesn't know how to act. I don't know if I should put my feet up, if I should go get something from the fridge, or
what do I do with my
what.
hands,
So
man?
I'm gonna just sit on the couch until you guys address me, man. I'm really I can't thank you guys enough for the invite, man. Nickel City Crew in the building. We appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah,
We
man.
love your show.
Yeah, we love your show, man, and appreciate the cross pollination, as we say, PG
I
Rods,
like
right?
it.
That's you.
Yes.
Yeah, all from you.
Hashtag build the base. I
That's
like
the
it.
man. Rob has been the forefront for the Build the Base hashtag, and we love it, man. Just getting all that support for all the Buff fan base network. We are part of that network. As part of that, we're sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go over to 26shirts.com. Give them all your money. They'll use it way better than you do. Help out a family in Western New York and get the freshest threads that you can possibly get. What's better? There's nothing better. It's a beautiful thing. Guys, we had a draft on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you were in on our show, we did a 5-hour show that ended with the Bills trading out of the first round. We had some good beers, some good laughs. Thank you to everybody that showed up. Over 2,800 live. It was amazing, and appreciate you guys. We're gonna spin that wheel to do the giveaways that we did for that show. We got 2 bonfires from our store, so you can pick anything from the 24/7 Buff Fandemonium store. And then we got that James Cook signed jersey from our boy Justice General himself. donating that to the draft show. So we'll get to that in a little bit. First of all, I haven't introduced these two dudes that look exactly alike. So right over here is my brother from another mother, Scooter Magooter. Scott, what do you got?
What's up, fan base? What's up, Bills Mafia? A step closer. It's one of those things that we have the free agency now. We got the draft. Now we got the undrafted free agents, undrafted rookie free agents. There might be a little bit of a lull. So us content creators are here to keep you guys busy every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I know they have a show on Friday, Buff fan base. So tune in. We like to do that fan first perspective stuff. So we're just talking our Buffalo Bills. Grab a drink and hang out with us. It's all good time.
Hey, very nice. Scott, you have a twin brother who's right next to me right here. His name is Jarrod Reed, and if you were in on the draft show, you get that one, man. We added R's to Jared's name, like 5 R's every single time he talked or did something, and it was a great time. Possibly annoying towards the end, but I laughed through the whole thing. So, Jarrod, tell the people what's up. How are you doing tonight?
Welcome, Rob. Welcome, Adam, Scott, Swank. Glad to be here. Just hanging out right in between the FLX Mafia, the Finger Lakes Mafia in the house. I did that. No, lots of stuff. We never expect to see who Brandon Beane's going to go after and what his feelings are until afterwards when we get inside sight of the Buffalo Bills website there. You can see how it makes the calls and the excitement they have. So it throws everybody's mock draft out the window and everybody's expectations. And then by the end of the day, we're sitting back watching highlights of these guys coming in, and we all change our mind and we're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I see why. Oh, yeah. So here we go. Let's do it. Go Bills.
That's something that we talked about on the show. And Rob and DT, I want to get your takes on this. How big of a gap was it from when we took Keon Coleman, right, to where you were either upset or and then just like, okay, let's see what this kid can do? How long of a gap was that?
I'll start it off. Mine was pretty quick. I mean, once we got out of Friday, once we got out of Thursday, it was, I was just hoping we picked at 33 at that point. I was eager enough, just get it off the board, and he went up, and it's somebody a name that has been in the mix for a long time, and from really earlier than later, he was in the mix. So it's familiar, and it was like, all right, let's roll. So it was more exhaustion, just getting it off. Finally, they picked him. Let's ride with him. There's nothing else we can do. Then I'd say it didn't take long to get into it.
Yeah.
For me, to be honest, I fought with. It's funny, it's like when he's somebody like a Dennis Rodman or an agitator, they're like, well, he's mine though, he's on my team, so he's mine. So it was like a situation where I was on Twitter X, and I was just fighting dudes left and right, because they wanted to talk about speed, they wanted to talk about all this other garbage, and I, well, now he's a Buffalo Bill, so he's mine. So I really enjoyed his press conference. Shout out to Del Reed over there at 26 Shirts, like you talked about. I was like, man, there are so many ideas I have for t-shirts now after that, the cookies and then this jacket, talking with Mookie Hawkins. I was like, this stuff is gold, man. Like, this is just literal gold. So I was down with it, man, to be honest. And I just spent most of the night after the pick at 33, just fighting people, just like, hey man, like sometimes people are just going to be pissed no matter what, and you just can't get around that. And I totally understand how that works on that platform specifically, but he's mine now. So I mean, I'm ready to fight people, man. We could go in the alley and fight over him, man. It's all good, man. What's up? I'll let Nickel City Crew. What's up? I'll let I will fight you.
I love that you say that, Rob, because Jarrod always stresses, and we always second it. We root for the guys that don the red, white, and blue. Sometimes, regardless, the Bills generally don't bring in people that aren't good for the system or is not good for the locker room. So whoever comes in, we have no choice. You might as well root for them if you're a fan of the Buffalo Bills and just wish them the best luck. I mean, how many people are thinking Keon Coleman? Oh, he's not going to get 20 catches, but you're hoping he does or more. You're rooting for the guy. If he's wearing red, white, and blue, root for him. If you're rooting for the Bills, you're rooting for him.
Well, I think that's like a safe spot for like a lot of like loudmouth Bills Mafia fans on Twitter, right? Where they can like be like, this guy's garbage and he's slow and he's not going to do anything. And it's safe because if they're right and he doesn't produce, then they can be like, see, look at this tweet. But if they're wrong, that means we're winning games and he's doing well. So like,
Absolutely.
it's kind of like one of those things where it's like you throw that bomb out there and then you pull it out of the archive like later on. For me, man, what you said, Rob, man, it reminded me of Rex Ryan. I hated Rex Ryan. I absolutely hated him. And then when he became the coach of the Bills, I hated it for like an hour. And then I was like, well, you know what, man, maybe this will be good. All right. Because he's, he's a big personality. He'll bring people, so you change and kind of like make that about the team rather than this guy, you know what I mean? So
I framed the Sports Illustrated with him and Thurman at the big tree. Like it took me like a week, and that shit was up in my office. I was locked in. It didn't matter, man. I was locked in. Let's go get a snack.
You got the level out, made sure everything was level.
Yep, let's go get a snack, man.
Spot.
Absolutely.
Change the color of the jersey of the Sanchez tattoo he had and everything, and got his truck wrapped. Man, he was a character.
Foot fetish.
Oh God, dude, yeah, those were some
like
times.
That's my coach. Yeah, I'll fight you. So yeah, I'm down with Keon Coleman, and I'm sure we'll get into it.
Hell yeah. Let's get right after it, man. The first pick in round 2 for the Buffalo Bills was Mr. Keon Coleman, wide receiver from FSU, pick 33 overall. Real quick, Scott, I'm gonna toss it to you, man. Let's talk about some of the qualities that this kid brings to this football team.
Okay, well, right off the bat, early on in this whole mock draft situation, I know there's a lot of people pounding the table for Keon Coleman. And then he ran this 40, and it was 4.61, and a lot of people dumped him down on a list. And I can speak for a lot of receiver fans that pay attention to that position. When it comes to the combine, it's not necessarily the 40 time, the 4.2s, the 4.3s. It's to me, it's that gauntlet. And he ran the top speed at the gauntlet. And why that's important is because you are catching a ball at your top speed. There is a reason why Xavier Worthy did not run the gauntlet, because he could not run a 4.2 run down that 40-yard line and catch balls. So I'll give you an example of a player that ran the gauntlet very well and ran a shitty 40-yard dash. Puka Nacua, whatever his name is. I can't remember.
Nacua, yeah. Nacua. You're speaking the truth.
Puka.
I know, right? Puka. I'm using him as an example. I can't even say his name. But he ran a 4.5740, but he kicked ass in that gauntlet. Is because he could run in a straight line. He had good balance. He didn't lift up his feet or use any wasted movements to catch the ball. He caught the balls, and his top speed was pretty high per catch. These 4.21 guys, 4.22 guys can't do that, and that's why they don't run it. And that's one of those things that Keon Coleman did very well, and he was the top speed. So I knew he'd be a good receiver. It's that game speed. You see more game speed in that drill than anything else.
Pad fast. Coming through in the gauntlet like that, you're going to be in the mix in those trenches with the NFL now. You're going to be getting popped through there, and you got to be at your fastest, most elusive through, and still have that gut behind you to catch that ball. So that pad fast, that game fast, I definitely agree with. And he even said it. Nobody's ever caught me from behind. So once he gets out in the open field, he's clocking 20+ mile an hour runs down the side. He's returning punts. Like, yeah, he doesn't have that 40-yard, but that pad fast, I like that game speed.
And when you're running down that yard line, they actually, if you watch the combine, they tell you how much they drift back and forth. It's all about the balance. And if you have the balance and you don't leave your feet, that yards after catch is what happens. You catch it and you're upfield. Shakir is really good at that too, as we saw this year.
Well, he's making people miss. I know his highlight reel is for the purpose of him getting drafted. I understand that, and to get the fan base stoked. But the way he was going up, grabbing one hand catches, the way he was making people miss, he's willing to play special teams. I tell you, man, switching colleges for his last season kind of showed me a lot more than what I thought it would generally, where it's like he went from one system and completely to a different system and succeeded, and was not just like a success, but put up numbers, and then got drafted first in the second round to the Buffalo Bills. I think like to be able to learn a new playbook while still going to school and then enter the draft and now do it again with a pro team, he's already been there. And when they asked him about it in his interview, he was just like, yeah, like it wasn't a big deal for me to switch because of, the plays are the plays, but you figure it out and you blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wow, man, that to me, that means a lot more to his football IQ and kind of like his confidence level to be able to come in and be like, well, yeah, I just did that last season. That's no big deal. I'll just come in and do it this year. and I think it's the NFL. He's got respect for it, but it's like, to me, that spoke more than I thought it was going to me. So I don't know. I like it. I love him. I think
two-sport athlete too. Don't forget that he played basketball at Michigan State. You know what I mean? So when they talk about, these guys that are going up to get it, I hear a lot of a lot of talk about the contested catches, and you hear WGR in the mornings, and I like Jeremy White a lot, but they're talking about how they want these guys to get open, and they're all questioning different things like that. Listen, those type of traits can't be bad. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing that I always look at when I'm listening to that kind of rhetoric. Like, it can't be bad that in tight spaces with guys draping all over him, that he's going up and getting the ball. Like, how can that be a bad thing? So I mean, I look at it as a positive quality for sure.
Well, and that depends on your quarterback play too, right? Your quarterback who you're playing with is the one delivering the ball in those go up and get them type things. Where if you're with a professional now like Josh Allen, if you get open this much, it's coming to you. And you said two-sport athlete. How many basketball players do we see that play tight end that are in the Hall of Fame now? And that's just key with these big guys, because he's 6'3", over 210 pounds. He turns his body like he's boxing out for a rebound. And that body, him able to turn his hips and get his body in those correct positions is going to be huge in the NFL. And yeah, I just can't wait. And like you said, Adam, that football speed, the pad speed, when you're playing football, 4.21 is track speed. It's not football speed.
Right. He's telling the truth.
Yeah. You ain't getting hit. You ain't getting hit at 4.21. You're getting hit at the pad speed through the middle. And going off of the two-sport athlete, and what he played it with Tom Izzo, Michigan State, like one of the best coaches and best programs in the history. And you talked about his transition into Florida State and having to learn, and his character, like, he's kind of a goofball, it seems, so far in the early going, but it's like, this dude's focused. If he can compete at the highest level, going through all of that, and Tom Izzo is taking him in to play on his team while he's juggling all that, says a lot as well.
Absolutely. And I think one of the biggest knocks against him is the lack of separation, right? Like, that's what people keep talking about. To me, like, how much do you have to separate if you're the biggest guy, the biggest, baddest dude between you and a corner? You go up and get the ball. I don't care. You don't have to separate. Catch the fucking ball. Like, that's all. If he can do that, then what? You don't need to separate. And it looks like he's got the hands to do that, and the body, and the confidence to do it. So, have you guys heard?
They have titles. They have titles for all those guys. They're deep threat guys. There's possession guys. There's titles for each one. Not everybody on your team needs a 2.5 yard separation every time they catch the ball.
Yeah,
they have specific spots. And if Coleman's I'll tell you what, if Coleman gets over 400 yards receiving and one touchdown in any 8-game span, he's already doing better than Diggs did the last 8 games last year.
Come on, guy. All right, this y'all.
Listen, Rob. Listen, Rob.
I'm sitting on the couch.
Listen, you're good. Listen, I'm going to tell you, there's a little bit of homer going on over here. Sometimes we get a little homers, but I like it. It's fine. It's all good. Well, I'm not even going to pose the "Would you rather have Keon Coleman or Stephon Diggs" question right now, but we're just gonna skip on over that.
I don't want to get kicked off the podcast, man.
No,
I like y'all. Build debates, man. Come on, everybody's entitled to have their own opinion. You guys follow me. You know that Stephon Diggs is a touchy. He's a touchy subject for me, so it's all good, man.
It's as simple as this. Stephon Diggs is a well-known, productive wide receiver that has proven in the league. Coleman is not. So the obvious answer is it would be the Diggs until proven otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good answer.
Hey, what's the king on without an awkward pause every once in a while? It's like,
right.
It's like,
so you did that on
walk
purpose.
of shame. Oh, hell yeah, I did, man. That's what the host gets to do. He just gets to set up these little bricks and then knock them over. No, I'm stoked on the Keon Coleman pick. I think the biggest thing to me about all of this is there needs to be a rollover, like a turning, a passing of the torch. Like we can't get caught up in that. Bring Cole Beasley back because it makes us feel good, because it's familiar. We can't do Shaq Lawson and Jordan Phillips and all this stuff. We got rid of like a lot of older players, and yes, productive players, but a lot of older players that were more of like a legacy thing than a performance thing. And we're seeing the next wave and the future of the next 7 years of Josh Allen's career coming in right now, and that's important. You know, you got to have the forest fire for the growth to bring back up, and as long as you got 17 out there, you always got a chance. So we're still in it. It's just a changing of the guard, and it's necessary.
Yeah.
So
we just came back from refreshments. It's it's Act 2 now.
Yes,
Act 2 of 1-7, and it's a whole new cast. Yep.
Hell yeah! All right, we've talked enough about this nice young man, and I can't wait to see more of his press conferences and all sorts of things with Keon, especially his production on the field. But let's go to our next pick here, which is Mr. Cole Bishop. I'm stoked on this dude. I know that Kincaid was a big advocate for this dude, and he looks like he's going to lay the hammer down. And if I'm Taylor Rapp, I think I'm a little concerned about my starting position going into camp here. But Rob, what do you think, man? What do you think about Cole Bishop?
I like him a lot. I like the fact that he's, a leader on that Utah defense. To be honest, he has been a leader on that defense. I love the fact that he went up against Dalton Kincaid. They say that one of his biggest attributes is the fact that he can go with these tight ends, and you've got to deal with tight ends now in this league with the Kelseys and the likes of those guys. So I like the fact that he's a matchup type safety, goes down in the box, gets his nose dirty. I saw some of his highlights, has no problem tackling. So he reminds me of a Poyer, to be honest, that guy that can be that big nickel that can, scrap around and he's not afraid to hit. I do love that when it comes to the safeties, that they're not afraid to stick their nose in there. So I like it. I think that he's got leadership qualities. When you talk about it, to be honest, Swank, like the next wave and the next future of the Buffalo Bills, this is one of those foundational pieces that are going to be really, you might as well keep your eye on it because, I can see a C on his jersey down the road for sure. Yeah. I mean, this is the type of guy that's got those type of qualities. I know that the Bills look for those types of guys, and sometimes we can roll our eyes at it. But the locker room does matter. A case in point, we just went through a situation with 17 and 14. So we know that the locker room chemistry does matter, and how it translates to the field can sometimes bleed over. So this is a guy that, to me was a great pick. I know Cooper DeJean was another guy that, you could see in that similar type of role. But when it comes to a safety, get down in the box and then still be able to cover, I think that those are, that's literally everything that you're looking for in a safety. So I'm with that pick for sure.
Oh yeah, man. Great take. I just, again, the highlights, I know it's the highlights, but him laying the hammer on some of these dudes, oh God, that's what I want, that physical dude. And I think Sean McDermott was just licking his chops when they picked this dude up. DT, you got to take on Mr. Cole Bishop?
Yeah, I mean, I think he fits the mold. Like you said, I love that hit, and with all these new guys coming in, this is going to be one of the most competitive training camps in recent memory. And who's going to rise up out of this training camp? The dogs, the hitters, and that's what it comes to. Like the guys that can withstand these hits and get in and have the nose for contact and just live and breathe ball. And that's what because we're going to need it. These guys are going to have to play week 1. And so they're going to have to come out swinging and be ready and get the NFL as quick as you can get the NFL and be ready to go. So I like guys like that. There's a lot of them kind of through this draft. I think we kind of went with that mode and that mantra through the rest of the draft of picking guys of a similar nature. So it's going to be competitive and the dogs are going to rise up. And I think, Cole Bishop at 60 was a strong pick. Having the connection with Kincaid can only help.
Yeah, covering Kincaid. Wasn't it? There was a quote from Kincaid about how he was the only guy that he beat him every single time or something like that in practice. And I think
Brandon Bean, I think it even said he had asked him about it, in the pre-draft, meeting about how did you match up with Kincaid? And he said, I was all in his jersey. Yeah. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go ask Dalton. You know what I mean? And one of those those fact check, jigs, And and then he came back and Dalton had to keep it funky, had to keep it real. He was all up in my jersey. So I like that. I picked up on that too. That was cool.
Yeah, awesome.
I pulled a quote that he said his biggest strength is guarding tight ends, thanks to Kincaid.
There you go. I mean, it's not a bad guy to grow up with, right? Like the iron sharpens iron, all those buzzy word things that they were talking about with the DNA and everything. This seems like the perfect kind of McDermott pick. Scooter, what else you got on Cole?
Good size, 6'2", 205 pounds, and he reminds me a lot of both Poyer and Hyde. And Swank, the guy can play both strong safety and free safety. So Mike Edwards is also fighting for a position. But the fact that he's very instinctual, and I hope what happens a lot of times when these rookies come in is they stop going off their gut feelings, their instinct, and start to play the game according to what the paper tells you how to play the game. If this guy can continue with his instincts, he's very good at it. He's very cerebral in the football game. He's got what Poyer and Hyde have, but he's 4.5 speed or 4.4 speed rather than a 4.5 speed. So he's going to be faster back there than those guys are. I just hope he can pick it up as quick as they are. And he's got that C on his shirt. We said he might be a captain later on down his career. He's got the potential to do that, but he's going to be very dangerous if he could just play the game he knows, stick to what works for him, learn the McDermott system, top notch, guarantee it.
I mean, yeah. No, man, 100%. It's hard with a 5-person panel to go around and everybody pretty much says like similar things, right, with their little different take on it, and it's beautiful. But Jerry, what do you got? I mean, I left you for last. I'm sorry, dude. What do you got? You like his his haircut or something?
No, yeah, beautiful haircut. A couple games last year, we saw the Buffalo Bills use 3 safeties in many games, 2 in the back and 1 always played up front. Jordan Poyer later in his career started coming up at that box more often. This is where this young man lives, in that box, and it's great to see him come up, and he plays that box position well too. When there's plays going to the outside, he stays parallel and shifts and goes, and then he lays a hammer down on people. So I think where they're going to play him, he's going to play comfortable. He's going to play that Poyer position, come up, play linebacker, and he's going to put his helmet on some of these guys, and it's going to be a glorious thing. I think it's going to be easy transition for him. Just got to get used to the speed. And like Scott said, he does have the speed. So good pickup.
I had Jarrod on 3+ times he said box within the little thing that he was saying. Anybody else go above that?
I was going to make that's what she said jokes the whole time, but I just decided to be professional about it. So good take, Jerry. Good take. Moving on here, man. I'll tell you what I loved about these first 3 picks, aside from the fact that they moved out of the first and made us wait this whole time. They addressed 3 huge needs right off the get, like things that like content creators and just mafia armchair GMs have been banging the table for. And this young man, Dwayne Carter, he seems like a beast. Like I'm just daydreaming about him taking over for Daquan someday, and him and Eddie O having a couple real prime years together, and it makes me very, very excited. DT, I want to give you a chance to lead it off, man. What do you think about this young man?
I mean, DTU, let's go. We're not Duke, but the Bills currently, the defensive line on the Bills, these guys are vets, and they, Austin Johnson is a guy who directly learned from Daquan Jones already in his career, and now they're the teachers to this rookie coming in. And Dwayne Carter, Dwayne Carter, come on. We got Little Wayne in the 3rd round. That's
Little Dwayne, dude?
Some sort of nickname for the Mafia. We got Dwayne Carter. So bring that vibe. Again, the leadership, a captain literally on that Duke team of esteemed scholars, I'm sure, in every direction on that team. So coming in and learning from these guys that, have played D-line and played hard D-line through the years, and he fits that mold, just the big legs. Like, man, those big quads. Like, Saquon Barkley's look small next to these guys. So I like that. Yeah. 2 C's thick.
Let's get the rest of the Nickel City take, man. Rob, what do you think?
I love it. And I love DT so much. He's a treasure. I'm proud to have him as my co-host. I have to echo what DT said, because it's funny. I don't know if we'll get to it tonight, but how our overall opinions of the draft. But I was mad because I wanted more wide receivers and things like that. And then when I started digging down on this kid, man, it was just, I was like falling in football love, like instantly. It was like love at first sight. I mean, the way that he talks, they had like a press conference from him at the Senior Bowl, and just how he dissects the game. He said that, he's big on FBI. He calls it, football intelligence. He comes from a football family, and I put that out on Twitter. I mean, his granddad was in football. His dad was in football. His uncle was in football. And we're talking like major universities. So, I always love that. I'm a coach, for my kids and stuff like that in basketball. And I always, I'm hard on my son, you know what I mean? My middle son, I'm very hard on him in basketball. And there's just something about being coached up and being in the football family or being in the sports family where they just they're always on their P's and Q's and they know their stuff. And this guy, you can already tell he knows his shit. And he's a worker. You can already tell that he's a worker. It's not anything that's fabricated. It's funny because you can just tell sometimes who's BSing and who's not, who's really about that work and who's not. This guy's about that work. He's going to be perfect in the locker room, perfect in that defensive line room. And DT's right. I mean, he's a big guy. And I mean, it was instant. Like, I forgot about the fact that we didn't draft a wide receiver in the 3rd round. As soon as I started to dig in on this guy, I'm all about it. You're absolutely right, Swank. I mean, him and Ed Oliver, I mean, it's going to be a nice little thing. Obviously, Day-Day, we know Day-Day over at Nickel City Crew from Penn State, and, he can't play forever, and we're so happy to have him back. But man, Usher, you hit it on the head in the beginning of the show. You got to usher in the new blood, and sometimes it's hard. I know when we lost all those guys, it was hard to say goodbye to a lot of them. But this is the way to do it. You got to get some high character guys and some guys that know football. And this guy, he knows football, man. He's going to plug. He's going to work.
That's the truth, man. I mean, this. I feel like when McDermott took over those first couple of seasons, people made a big joke about the DNA thing and trust the process and all that, and we did. I mean, everybody did, right? It was like those.
I still do.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. It's like that buzzword stuff, but like you cannot argue that the culture in Buffalo is completely different. He completely turned it 180 degrees around to where like it's generationally just the same kind of group of hardworking dudes coming in and getting built up to like be a team and move forward. And I don't know. I think this is another example of one of those guys. Well put, man. Great take. Jerry, you got anything on Dwayne Carter?
Yeah, this guy has unbelievable motor. Again, you were talking, Rob, about how this guy has the football IQ and how he can diagnose things, and he's a leader and he's a go-getter. But if you watch his film, man, I saw just one clip just lingers in my head. I forgot what team Florida State maybe is going against. He just demolished this guard, trips over the guard, falls to the ground. Before he even hits the ground, he's pushing himself up and getting after the quarterback. So to have that at your DT is just simply amazing. He's a very athletic DT, and when the ball goes out of his one and the A gaps, he laterally moves well too, and he's got great pursue. So I can't wait. And I like that DTU. It's like Penn State U, right? For linebackers, Buffalo Bills are defensive tackle university. That's for sure. I like that take. Yeah, glad to have him out here, man. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Hell yeah. Scooter, we talk about building the trenches all the goddamn time. It starts in the trenches, and here we are. They went and they got a dude that's a dog in the trenches. What do you got to close this little segment on Dwayne Carter out?
He's a dog in every aspect of being a dog with defensive tackle. He excels in run defense, and he led the ACC in interior pressure to quarterbacks. So he does it all. And the thing is, when these guys come into the Buffalo Bills, they understand with the C on his chest, they understand that they're team players. They're going to be in a rotational defense. So all that does is put the hunger in their guts, because they know they're not going to get as many opportunities, the 70% snaps that they did in college. They're going to have the 40 to 50. Oh, they're going to be angry. I can guarantee him and Ed Oliver are going to be chopping at the bit to see who leads in sacks this year. But he can spell Daquan, and he could spell Ed Oliver, and he won't miss a beat. I honestly do believe that.
Thanks.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Guys, it's 8:36. I do not want you to think that I am ignoring you. We were just so excited to start delving into dissecting this draft, and we'll rush through the second half of it after we do this a little quick round of giveaways, because we promised to give away a whole lot of shit during our draft show, and some of it might have been alcohol induced. Some of it.
Let's give something away.
So yeah, we're gonna do all that. 901 watching live right now. Thank you guys so much. The regular suspects out here. Listen, if you left a comment, we're gonna do. Let's see. We're gonna do the first bonfire giveaway. So this is a list of people that left a Go Bills comment during some pick and another pick, and Jerry wrote it all down. If your name's not on there, you yell at him about it. That's fine. At Jarrod 24/7 BF. So here's the first roll. Here we go.
Spin that wheel. Pew, pew, pew. Who we got?
Oh man, it's our dude Kevin Kenya.
There you go,
There
Kevin.
he is, man. Kevin, you can go on the website, 247buffanimal.com/shop, and pick out whatever you want. One article, just one. No, whatever you want, buddy. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for participating. We got another bonfire giveaway. We'll roll that one quick. Spartan calls this shit the wheel of death. He's already said it like at least twice in the comments. So. Here we go. Oh, and he missed it by 2. And that's why he calls it the wheel of death. Yeah. Mike V, our boy Mike V. Go to our shop, bro. Pick out anything you want. Thank you so much for participating during our draft special the other night. Should we get this
just
last one?
Text us what you want, what size you want, and your address, and we'll get it out to you.
Hell yeah.
Is this the next one for the James Cook?
Yeah, let's get them all out of here so we can keep getting down to brass tacks. This one right here, man, I don't know how many names are on there. That's a lot of small pieces of pie. I'd be pissed off if this was a pizza that we were sharing. This one's for the James Cook jersey. James Cook signed home jersey. Compliments of our boy Justice General from 24/7 Buff Pandemonium and the new business that he is putting together. You guys, this is every single person that left a comment during our show the other night. Reached up over 3.5 total and 2,800 live. You guys are killer. Thank you so much. Doing it again tonight. Love you so much. So here we go.
I always do that.
And the winner is
the dump truck. Pew pew.
Yeah, he does it. Oh, geez. Hey, you guys can rebel if you want. It's Ellen Reed. She won. Sounds like it's rigged. So send it again.
She'll give it to me. She'll give it to me, and
you'll just give it away again.
Removed.
Yeah.
You know who it landed on?
Hey man, why didn't you keep it? I need running backs.
You know who it landed on when I removed her name? When I removed her name, it landed on Spartan.
Oh, did it?
Too bad. Sorry, Spartan. Hopefully it comes all the way around, bro. Let's see. Lisa Jean. You got Lisa Jean. You just won yourself a James Cook signed jersey. Congratulations. Thank you so much for participating in our live draft show. Let me make sure I got all this shit set back up to go back. And there we are. Congratulations. Thank you guys so much. Message us. If you want a shirt or any of that size and style that you want, we'll ship it right to you. And Lisa, let us know. Get us your address, and we'll ship that along to Mr. Justice General.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for participating.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got again, Buffalo Spartan, Wheel of Death with like 18 skull and crossbones. What's up? Patrick Hughes.
Sparta!
Patrick Hughes says, roll that wheel.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. So.
Mike V. Stoked, D1. Congratulations, brother. Let's see. Spartan says, maybe one day. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. You guys are killers, man. We got Uncle James. That's the way it works for me, too. Yeah. Harold Fuller. Go Bills. Hell yeah. Corey Blaine says it's rigged. All right, all these inside jokes. Screw that. All right, round 4 right here. Ray Davis. I gotta admit, man, I was not about picking a running back in this draft. I didn't want any part of it. And it's that same kind of like they bleed the colors now and they don it, and he's my guy. And I watched like a tape, and I'm like, yeah, man, why not? Let's get right to it. That's great. Let's go. So, Rob, what do you think, man? What do you think about this young running back from Kentucky?
Oh man, we're guests, so I want to just
put it out there, man.
I want to go with you, man. But I can't. I got to stay true to my brand, man. I mean, to be honest, I'm a little bit upset. I think this kid's gonna be 25 by the time the season starts. So he's got a lot of experience, and I heard that he's a pass catching back and stuff like that. And I guess he set the SEC record for touchdown catches by a running back. But it's just a little bit tough. I don't even know necessarily who was on the board. I don't really, and I think that speaks to what I was looking for coming into the draft. I really don't care. I think Troy Franklin available, fellas? Does anybody know? I can't remember if he was still on the board. I think he was. So no. It's just a situation where I just want more receivers for Josh, and that's just really what it comes down to, Swank. I was surprised that we came out of this draft with just one. Even a late round one. You know what I mean? Everybody told me after the Stephon Diggs trade, I think this is where the impetus of it comes from. Everybody told me that, well, Brandon Beane's got something cooking. Then he comes pre-draft and says, we don't need a wide receiver one. And it's funny because DT and I were on Nickel City Crew and like, that's bullshit. Like, he's lying. Like, it's just because it's pre-draft and he's not trying to give away leverage. And, I defended him. I'm like, there's no way that he means it. And then to see how it comes out afterwards, it just kind of gives me a little bit of pause. So, I know you guys are having a great show tonight. And again, we appreciate you inviting us on. Hopefully we get another invite down the road, but I'm not with this one, man. I'm sorry, DT. No, you might be able to back us up to get us an invite in the future, but I'm not with it, man. I wanted
DT,
more.
Fix it.
I wanted more.
I just want to say real fast, dude. You're good. I don't care. You can tell us to fuck off, and you'll be fine. I'll invite you back next week, dude. No big deal.
Oh, that's so funny.
Get whatever
I'm just keeping it real, man. I gotta keep it real. I want more receivers for Josh, but maybe DT's got a different take.
Yeah, I mean, there were receivers there. Troy Franklin wasn't there. He was drafted. The Broncos I think the Broncos took him earlier than they, maybe they should have because of the connection with Bo Nix. But we talked about the first 3 picks were filled positions of need, and the armchair GMs. We were literally picking these positions in a perfect mock draft. It was as close to Madden as we could have got. We talk about joking around with Madden all the time, and so it was what we needed. We needed a backup running back. I don't know if it's what we needed right there, but I'm a douche. Like, I watched one tape and I'm like, all right, this dude's nice. I mean, we'll take it. Runs hard and similar to James Cook. It seems like he can do a lot of the same things, but we needed a backup back and we got him. Again, I'm not saying completely. I wouldn't want another receiver. But I think he's going to plug in well to the team, and it won't hurt. But I don't mind it.
Scott, man, come on, man. You've been on Nickel City Crew. Get my back.
DT, I just want to say, man, you're welcome on the show anytime, bro.
You see what I mean, man? Come on, man.
Nah, I'm just playing with you, Scott. What are you gonna do, man? You staying true to the 24/7 BF bloodline here, or are you gonna be a traitor, dude?
I'm not gonna be a traitor. Here's the thing.
No pressure.
In every mock I did, I did have Ray Davis, esteem the running back from Notre Dame, and potentially Will Shipley coming to the Buffalo Bills. I had him in the 5th round. So to grab him in the 4th, it was kind of early for me, but I saw the amount of running backs that started going directly after the Bills drafted them. So it was almost like being almost set the tone. Like, I'm going to make the decision to start this other wave of running backs to go as a bunch of them followed. So I did like Zach Moss when he came to the Bills. I thought he was he would be a good backup, thought he would be. But this guy comes in kind of with a similar kind of prototype, but he's got a lot better vision and he's got a lot better agility. He sees the hole and he catches the ball a lot better. So I almost dubbed him as Zach Moss part 2, but can see the field a lot better. I don't mind that. The Buffalo Bills need that little ground and pound. He's only 5'8", but he's 210 pounds and he acts like a little sledgehammer. We do need that guy that could put the ball in between the guards, the A gaps and the B gaps that can get that extra yard. But he can also surprise you and catch the ball out of the backfield. I'm glad they got him, but you're right. I'll agree with Rob here. In round 4, I don't know. I don't think that Troy Franklin would have been a good pickup. I don't like these thin wide receivers. Bills need guys that can block. He's just a little frame guy. I don't think that would have been a successful pick for them.
Okay.
But Ray Davis, I'm on board. I'm on board now that he's on the team.
Oh, his highlights were sweet, Swank. I mean, Jarrod, they were hot. I mean, you guys watched them, Jarrod? Like, did you see his highlights? They were sweet.
Yeah, but like we were saying, man, it's like all of them, right? Where it's like, this is the best things they've ever done in 4 or 5 years in school. So,
they played 1,200 plays, but you see 15 of them.
Yeah. I'll say Ray Davis's was only like 4 minutes compared to like Keon's, which was like 10. So, go back and forth. Jerry, what do you think about Ray?
Good pickup.
All right. Great take, dude. Great take. I love it.
He's just like James Cook. I mean, he can catch the ball. He's a workhorse. He catches the ball out of the backfield. I think that fits the mold of what the Bills need. I think money plays a little bit. He's going to be a rookie coming into a contract. So I love Ty Johnson. I thought he was a great pickup. He caught the ball 2 out of the backfield. So we'll see how that movement happens. But young, motivated guy who went from rags to riches. It's a feel-good story. Obviously, you hope the best for him. and hopefully sticks around for 3 to 4 years, makes his name, and then whatever the future holds for this young man, I can't wait to see. But going back to the wide receiver one. You guys remember New England Patriots, their success over the years? Did they have a wide receiver one before besides Randy Moss?
A bunch of slot guys. Yeah, like
the New England Patriots were a fantasy football nightmare for people because week 1 they'd run with Woodhead, week 2 they'd run with a different guy. Their top receiver would be Wet Welker, and then the tight end, and it's like I don't know. When Bean says we don't really need a wide receiver one, I feel him there because if you got a team full of athletes, spread the ball, spread the wealth, and we didn't have a wide receiver one for the last 8 to 10 weeks of the season anyway last year. So
we ran the ball a lot, though.
There you go.
Ran the ball a lot, though.
And we made our big run.
So I ask you guys, Swank. I mean, 24/7. You guys ready to go back to ground and pound and run it a lot with Josh Allen at the helm? Is that where you guys are? You guys are cool with that? In all sincerity,
no, I'm not.
Like when were we at our? Okay, I'll pose it this way. And DT knows where I'm coming from, and he knows I'll get on the soapbox. When were we at our most dangerous? Who was calling plays when we were at our most dangerous?
No, I don't want to get into that, man, because I hate him, dude. I hate Dave.
You hate Dable?
I hate Dave.
Oh, you do?
I do. But I mean, we can't get into it. That's fine with me. That's
okay. Well, were we not successful?
I mean,
the most successful under Josh Allen was with Dable. I mean, it seems like every time that we veer away from what he wanted and what his vision was for the team, which was attack, throw the ball. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of McDermott that's in this new guy Brady, and I just don't know. I think that it's incomplete because Brady was running Dorsey's system obviously last year, so I'm going to give him some grace. I'm going to give him some room on the season because obviously he gets a chance to implement everything this offseason. But I just don't know if it's trending in the right way. Yes, we won, but we were in some close games against teams that we should have been blowing out, and back in the day we would have been blowing those teams out. But so I don't know. I don't know. We got running screens to Stephon Diggs. Like that's not what he did best. Like I don't know. I'm going to give Joe Brady this offseason to get to implement his system, and maybe it's kind of like LSU and when he had Burrow and Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Maybe it's like that. Maybe that's what he wants to run. But
do you think they're running screens to Stephon Diggs because he couldn't catch the quick slants anymore? So they're trying to give him the ball in the backfield to make some moves.
That's where I'm at.
Diggs's gameplay changed once they got maybe the abdominal injury where he couldn't really get open on those quick slants anymore. So they were trying to still give him the ball, and he's not a screen guy.
No.
So
it was stupid.
I agree that was a dumb idea, but at the same time, they want to give the playmaker the ball. And also going back, we did have our fair share of Walmart Dable too.
Yeah. I'll say this about Dable too.
AFC Championship game. I mean, I don't know.
So Dable, like you're saying, the like Josh Allen, the offense was at its best with Dable because of one game that we lost. Right, like
not because of 13 seconds. No.
Well, no, I'm saying he took us like that one level further. Like if you're looking at the grand scheme of things, he went one game further than like the rest of it, which was like
I think that those two years, AFC Championship game year and then the 13-second year, I think that defenses feared the Buffalo Bills putting up 40 every single week, and I think that some of that fear has gone away, to be honest. And if you watch last season, you watch that start. We go out to 6-6. DT knows how hot I was about it. We were all wondering what was going on with the offense, and that's all I mean by that. I mean, I don't know if there's not 12 men on the field, then Dorsey probably doesn't even get fired, and he probably runs out the string of last year. So I know and understand that he was the scapegoat, and McDermott's he's used to doing that. So I understand how that works. So again, I'll give Brady his grace. This is his audition year. From Nickel City Crew's perspective, and DT knows that I'm offense. I'm throwing. I want to throw that thing. I play Madden with my Kings. I'm throwing that bitch every play. So like I just want them to be dangerous, and you need weapons to be dangerous. So I totally understand what you guys are talking about. But I thought that Brandon Beane was going to try to make another move to get maybe an Ayuk or maybe a trade, and I guess he really does mean it. They don't need a wide receiver one, so
we do have speed there. We do have speed there. We brought in Samuel, who runs a 4.31. When he timed it, obviously it's probably slowed down since then. But I'd like the fact that everybody's not giving him the credit for being so fast, because I agree. Hey, keep him quiet. Let these safeties start playing tough on these bigger wide receivers, these 6'2", 6'3" wide receivers, and let Samuel have a day. Let him go deep. Josh Allen does have the arm, but with the growth of Josh Allen, he also has the ability to read the field, give Shakir the ball, Kincaid. It's an offense now that the draft is kind of forcing him to actually have to utilize everybody that he has. You could throw the ball deep all you want. It's fun to watch. But sometimes when you keep throwing the ball deep, you leave a lot of time, even if it's just 13 seconds for the other team to have to come back and try to tie it up. It's tough to negotiate which would benefit the Bills the most. I would like a run game. This running back, Ray Davis, comes in running for 1,000 yards every season for the 3 teams that he played with. He's a legit guy that can back up. And if we have to slow down the game to the point where Bass missed that field goal this past year, yeah. But if we can kick the field goal to win the game as time's expiring, is a lot better than leaving any amount of time for any quarterback in the AFC Championship or the AFC Divisional Football game.
I mean, you're talking offense sounds like layups, right? We talked about this in Big City Crew all the time. Like, we missed the layups, and I think that's what Rob was getting at when we were our best there. Like, it was layups. Every play was 13 yards down, a first down. Like, we were rarely ever in third down that entire season. And, obviously, yeah. But Scott, you have a good point of this could also be a layup type of offense with all the if all these guys turn out to be playmakers, you're spreading the ball around, it looks easy and starts getting into that layup form as we saw when they were their best. So maybe we can have the best of both worlds.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, Rob, absolutely. Going into the draft, I was all for. I was saying why we're at least two receivers, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But how the cards fell, now we just got to go with it, and it's disappointing because I thought we were going to get more, and we didn't. But
you feeling me on that? Okay, you wanted to double dip too.
Oh,
okay.
I had 2 or 3 in my max all the time.
I think we all did.
Don't take us. Yeah, we had a show where we were like, it's not about like the fact that like the fan base wants a wide receiver. It's that Josh Allen has done everything for the last 5 years, 6 years, and he deserves a solid wide receiver one. He deserves weapons that can catch the ball and get yak and all that. So yeah, we're on the same. There's no everything's good. Yeah, that's all good. But Dable's trash. So anyway, no, I agree though, because like to me, like this is like it's going to be a complete different game plan. I think this year. I think you got Joe Brady with his connection to Samuel. I think you're going to see like a lot of like run mix stuff. But I'm hoping, like the thing that everybody's talking about is like you don't have anybody to take the top off the defense. So I'm thinking that like between Kincaid and Shakir and Samuel and James Cook, and now Keon, like maybe those 10, 13 yard gains, they're going to come back. Like maybe that's like chipping that, chunk yardage down the field. Cause we literally just talked about it, last week or 2 weeks ago, where it's like these bombs, like Josh Allen was throwing bombs last year just to try and like, they were Hail Marys.
The defense,
yeah. And they were doing nothing. There was nobody there. He was overthrowing them, or the guy was getting pushed. And it's like, we need him to do that, but with purpose. And the way you do that is to like just use those short yard passing gains the same way you would use a running game. But I think like longer,
or you can just eat them up in the middle too with a guy like Kincaid or a guy like Knox, or, a guy like
Coleman.
Samuel.
Exactly.
Eat them up in the middle of the field. They say Coleman can play in the slot, so
absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see for sure. I'm definitely going to give Brady, his grace. I'm going to give him the chance. It's his job, so listen, let's see what you got.
You hate Brady, it's okay. It's fine.
No. He wasn't even running his offense. So I want to see what his shit looks like. He's on audition this year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see here. Franklin has a question for the panel. He says, "What do you guys think is the weakest position after the draft?" He says has to be defensive end. Correct? What do you think, Rob?
DT, what you think?
What do you think, I like that defer. That was nice.
Well, I mean,
y'all not gonna keep throwing arrows at me and stuff like that.
I'm not trying to do that.
I know. I'm teasing.
My first initial on the roster, like looking through with all the draft picks in there, and more numbers game. Corner is kind of. I mean, I wasn't crying for a cornerback in the whole draft. Like I wasn't really even thinking about it. If we could catch a good one, obviously always take it. But I mean, you look and there's a lot of big question marks, in this cornerback room and everywhere in that regard. But it's just kind of glaring, like it was in the back of, not even in the back. I wasn't even in my mind, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh dang, like we're relying on Rasul Douglas to be, grade A again. We're relying on Christian Benford to not be a fluke. We're relying on a lot of things in this corner room, and we're going up against the double weapons every week of the season. It seems like you got receivers that every team's got somebody that can beat you. So that's kind of where my glaring thought. I never really even thought about it in the draft, and it's my most incomplete so far on the team.
I'd say receiver, and now pass it to you guys. You let me. I told him in your house if you let me out the door.
No, man, you're good. You're good. Absolutely. I'm going to.
I think we're bottom 10 receiver. I mean, if you're saying Tyrell Shavers, if you're saying the word Mac Hollins, I didn't know who the hell he was until he was signed. Legit, like I legit had to Google him to see that he was an NFL player. If they've got to play like meaningful minutes and meaningful snaps, then I don't know. I don't know if Bean's got something else up his sleeve, but it seems like this is our wide receiver core. I think it's bottom 10, and respectfully.
I'll go next.
Is there an averaging out though, Rob? Is there an averaging out because of number 17 being number 1?
Oof. That's a tough question. I mean, but didn't Swank just say we don't want him to have to do everything?
Yes. And
I know.
yo,
I'm
listen.
just being devil's advocate.
Listen, this is.
Oh no, I mean,
this is the tide turning and the climax of the story. I 100% agree with Rob that our biggest weakness right now is wide receiver. But I also agree.
Twist.
But I also
Look at the
agree
plot
though. And we've talked about this too, where it's like you got guys like Cole Beasley, who was like kind of a household name, but like one of those dudes in Dallas that like did what he needed to do, but he came to Buffalo, had his best season. You got John Brown, who was like one of those dudes who's a wide receiver too. He had another like name that you kind of knew of.
I agree.
Best season with Josh. So like Gabe Davis.
So Josh can elevate. He's an elevator.
He's an elevator. Sure. Yes, absolutely. But that's not a guarantee. No, so like I would say absolutely, I agree 100% with you right now that wide receiver is the weakest position on the team right now, for sure. What do you think, Jerry?
Yeah, I got to go CB, and I agree wide receiver because nothing's been proven yet in that position besides, Khalil Shakir and our tight ends. But, we'll put Kincaid as a receiver. So we haven't seen what a receiving core can do yet, and I'm 100% that's probably the weakest. But our CBs too, we got some injuries there. Rasul Douglas had a great season last year, but can he repeat number 2? And it's just going to be interesting to watch in camp and see how the cards fold. But that's my answer. I got 2 of them, wide receiver and CB, and hopefully those 2 can make each other stronger during the offseason.
Real quick,
TC, look what you started. I'm just scared with this quarterback talk. I'm like thinking of, is Elam gonna have to play?
God,
like that would scare the shit out of me. Like,
I'm glad you brought up Elam because Mike V said I'm surprised we didn't trade Elam, and Patrick Hughes responded, "You can't trade trash." And all right, Scooter, what do you think?
Allen has done well with worse offensive wide receivers. I'm going linebacker without knowing what Milano's all about right now.
Ugh.
Bernard is our starting linebacker.
Don't break my heart tonight, dude.
I know. I love the fact that they did bring in, we're going to call him Ed Ulofoshio. I think he resembles a lot of what Bernard and Milano does do. He's a motor, and Dorian Williams is coming back. But right now, I think that linebacker position, without knowing what Matt Milano's all about and his injury and where he is as far as the progress with that, that's my scariest position.
Real quick, with it being 9:01.
Here we go, folks. We're in overtime.
That's right. We're in overtime. It's 9:01. Luckily, the people at Buff Fan Base allow us to be unprofessional and go over our time slightly. And, it's really 2 shows in one right now. We got the Nickel City crew. We're hanging out.
There you go.
It's a good night. It's a good time. So
I got a question for you guys. Zay Jones was just released, but now we know why the Jaguars picked up Brian Thomas Jr. Zay Jones is released. Is he someone you want back here in Buffalo? Real quick, yes or no?
Might as well.
I mean, you say I'm off on him. I'm off
You're
on
done.
him.
I'm done with it. Everybody forgets
through
about
windows and
no,
I'm just joking.
Uncle Rico mustache.
I'm
over
Just joking. Mental health is important.
It is.
I mean, I just want some guys for Josh to throw to. So Who cares? I heard that they picked up the gambling guy. I mean, so they clearly know this shit is
The gambling guy.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
crucial right now, man.
Character.
I'm just
character
still, I can't
builds-
wait.
builds
Oh,
culture.
man.
Culture,
I'm
yeah,
still shocked.
yeah.
He's a change
Intense
man.
Cephas.
I'm still shocked, man. I am.
Culture.
Can't wait for the show. Nickel City Crew, check us out live Thursday night. Cannot wait.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I
talk
think
about
there's
Quintez
a
Cephas.
Yeah.
there's a huge unknown, and this is what this part of the season is. Last year at this time, the Buffalo Bills were going to finish 3rd or 4th in the AFC East, according to all the professionals out there. So this is a great time to speculate and have your worries. And if you have worries about certain positions or what things look like, it's 100%, acceptable.
this is the time to
it's
have
worth
it.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Good point.
and by
Good point.
time week 8, week 16 comes around, hopefully we're kind of eating crow, or we're actually
Laughing at
saying,
him.
yes, all
Mhm.
right, he made something happen, and look at this guy showed up. And that's the beautiful thing about this sports world, is sometimes people just surprise the hell out of you, and Bean seems to be bringing in those right people to do it for us Bills fans. So
Lucky
That's a good
lucky
one.
for us, and I had it queued up because I posted it on Twitter earlier today, because all these people were kind of banging the drum for Zay Jones, because they forget exactly how horrible he was for Buffalo when he first got here. I have all of his stats from the beginning of his career until last year currently up, and the best season that he ever had was 2022 for Jacksonville. He had 82 receptions, 823 yards, 10-yard average with 5 touchdowns, which fine. But the next closest was 652, 7 TDs. Great. That was 2018.
Vegas, right? That was with the Raiders.
No, that was with the Bills. That was his second season with the Bills. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he caught me balls first.
And that's what I said. That's what I said. Everybody's
I'm
forgetting.
looking at it
that.
right now, going, he caught touchdowns for
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Oh, I used to
Shit.
get so mad.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. You get
It's
so
so
excited
bad.
for it. You talk about a draft pick where you're so excited, like, this guy's never dropped a ball. Oh my God, he's a Buffalo Bill and he drops everything. And you're like,
It was hilarious at some point. It was like,
it was like a tragedy, dude. It was like one of those,
Yeah.
like it's
Greek
so
tragedy,
sad.
yeah.
You gotta laugh, like kind of shit. Yeah.
Kadarius Toney.
Oh, that's funny.
he showed up when he needed to, that son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not on the Zay train. I don't feel that at all. He is burned.
Tyrell Shavers, let's go. Max Holland, let's go 24/7. Y'all got it. Let's go. Nickel City Crew, we out. Yeah. I love it.
What about Justin Shorter, man? You got Justin
Yeah,
Shorter.
Justin Shorter.
Unproven.
Number 1 recruit in the country. Let's get it. Coming out of high school. It was like 5 fucking years ago. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. I mean, come on. Hey,
one less
Josh
injury,
Allen,
right?
the elevator, man. Let's get it. I mean,
One
Jared,
less
that's-
injuries. Oh yeah.
5 years ago, and one less injury.
Oh, I'm
Justin
gonna talk
Shorter.
so much shit on Thursday about you. Please tune in. I can't wait, man. We really appreciate the invite tonight, man. This has been a blast. You guys have just an awesome show, Swank. Scott, Jared, you guys have an awesome show, man. We love it. DT and I, we talk about your show, and we want to get better at like the giveaway, like all that type of cool shit, man. That's really cool stuff, man. So we appreciate you guys having us on tonight, because you guys really do it right, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are welcome.
Yeah, I
anytime, man.
double down on that. One team, one dream, baby. Mafia.
Built
We're
the
all
base.
together in this, and we all want one thing. It's the bowl, baby. It's the bowl. So
Hell yeah.
we're gonna get there together, and it's easy talking to family, right? So yeah,
right.
appreciate you having us on, guys. It was fun.
Hell yeah.
No problem.
Guys, since they kicked it off, Rob, can you let them know when they can see you and where they can see you, please?
Absolutely. Nickel City Crew. You can check us out on Twitter, Instagram at Nickel City Crew. We go live on Twitter, YouTube, all the different platforms. Myself and my co-host, Adam Dump Truck Brupsick, every single Thursday. Now, we try to get on around the 6 o'clock hour, but we always give you guys a little intro and let you guys know if we're going to be doing a 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. But it's every Thursday. We go live. We are now in season 4. We're just having a blast. I mean, we've been having a really fun time. A lot of support out there for the Nickel City Crew. We are simulcasting on the Bills Mafia Buffalo fan base. So we are all here together, like DT said, man. We're all under one roof. Hashtag build the base. We enjoy it. And please check us out for sure. We appreciate you guys sharing your platform with us tonight. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Jerry, what do you got for his final thought here tonight?
Well, first, thanks for coming on, Rob and Adam and DT Dump Truck. I love that nickname. But thanks for coming on. It's always a blast I think this show has had the most opposite interactions throughout the night, which is perfect. We love it. That's why we love the Fandemonium, because we let everybody have their voice, their opinion, and we accept everything. We might joke around and kid a little bit, but at the end of the day, like DT said, we just want the bowl. So hopefully in February, we can have everybody on and have 15 little screens on here, and we're all bashing each other's, opinions and celebrating the Super Bowl win. That being said, I want to give a shout out, and it humbles me to do this because last week we had the 5-hour show, and we had 30 or 40 of our OGs just hang around all night and joke around. And that's what it all comes down to. The guys, the people, the women, the kids that show up every Tuesday night, they take away out of their lives to join us from 8 to 9 and sometimes overtime, just to hang around and bust everyone's balls. And I want to shout out to you Fandemonium people out there that keep this show going, and that gives us pride that when we do giveaways, we know who is going to, and we celebrate it with you. And we love giving you guys the merchandise to hang up on your wall. So big props to the Buff Fandemonium and the Bills Mafia. Tune in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock for the last 5 years to hang out with us. I love it. And I can't wait to come back next Tuesday and do it again. Love you, boys. Yeah. Rob, Adam, thanks. We'll see you guys again. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Oh, that was beautiful, Jerry. So
I almost had a tear.
Almost got you.
We got Scott.
It's the time of year, guys. The draft, people's lives are changed forever, especially in the NFL. We got the undrafted rookie free agents. There's a lot of players that come into this league that have the opportunity to prove themselves. A lot of them will fail. A lot of them will come up into the practice squad and make their way up into the team and fall short because of injury. There's a bunch of those guys that are on the Buffalo Bills roster. And the people like the Justin Shorters of the world, Andy Isabella, who's proven a little bit, but he's traveled around the league a little bit. There's a lot of those players that I mentioned before as Bills fans, we want to root for them. There is big time potential on this roster. It's a movement right now. Bean has expressed that he wants to go youth. We don't have to trust the process, but if you believe in the Buffalo Bills, he's doing what we need to do to be successful now and down the road. You take a look at their drafted players. A lot of them have that C on their chest. We've got a bunch of new leaders coming into this league. We do not know what these young bucks have to offer when given the opportunity. So that's what preseason's all about. That's what camp's all about. And before you know it, we're rooting on these guys and yelling their names, and their jerseys are being sold like crazy. It's young. It's a young season. It's just beginning. We can be optimistic, pessimistic, no matter how you look at it. If you're a Bills fan, you're rooting for whoever wears that red, white, and blue. And here's the hoping that Josh Allen has an MVP season. He gets the help he needs that he deserves, and this defense can hold at the end of a game to bring us home that championship and hold that trophy at the end of the season. We got a ways to go. Join us every Tuesday so we can talk about it. It's our therapy session for us and for all of you guys. I love cross-pollinating. It's a great way to get different opinions, and it's a beautiful thing. I can't wait to have you guys on again. I can't wait to be a part of your show again. Go Bills. It's a good time of year. It's a boring time. We're going to get to that boring time, but it's our therapy, and we love it.
Well said.
Hell yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're at 11:59 right now. You guys are killing it. Thanks for all the support for the draft show. Thank you so much to our special guests, Rob and Dump Truck from Nickel City Crew. Watch everything they do. Follow them on social media. They are the best. Thank you guys so much for coming. You are welcome anytime. We don't give a shit. All of it is good. You're beautiful, and we love you. Listen, you guys can catch the show every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here where you're watching it, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. We are part of the Buff Fanbase Network. We love it. And we're sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com, give them all your money. They'll spend it better than you do. And you'll be helping out some great families in Western New York. Guys, there's not a lot left to say. Thanks so much for hanging. And go Bills.
.com. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills!
at your bank. Try that and upstate board's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run.